I'll put it this way. The troubles that they were getting themselves into was nothing like after they started this rebranding. Whatever they had going on, that exacerbated it very quickly.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because the rule of thumb with business, I mean, which is a life, if it's not fixed, don't try to break it. And it kind of feels like, that's why I was asking, was something really broke that I didn't know as a company? Because, like, why would you mess with this?
Renegade Online. I think this is kind of appropriate. This was a Cracker Barrel insider breaks silence on the woke destruction of Cracker Barrel. Eric Russell is the guy's name. This is him down here in the picture right there. Spent nearly 10 years working there. He's done every job in the restaurant. Even met his wife there, which I believe that's her right there in the picture as well. Over the past decade, Eric personally witnessed from the inside how corporate sabotage destroyed the Cracker Barrel American institution. Again, this is Benny Johnson saying this with his interview with this guy. Cracker Barrel was founded on Southern hospitality and tradition by a Christian family in 1969. Since the original owners passed, company leadership has gone through major changes. Current CEO Julie Fels Messino. This is the one that we were talking about that came from Yum Brands, Taco Bell, and that side of things. Took over in 2023. So she's not even been there a full 2 years, maybe right at 2 years at this point. Beginning an immediate push to, quote, modernize and rebrand the company. And again, this is somebody coming in. This is like another kind of, Kathleen Kennedy type. We have an audience that exists. This is the audience that pays our bills. This is the audience that we need to continue to cater to. Not to say that you can't try to make improvements, not try to say you can't tweak things and make things better, but she was interested in going out and finding the new audience, the modern audience, right, at the expense of the audience that was already paying its bills. It began with small changes. The classic brown menus were replaced. Uniforms were relaxed. Dress codes were done away with to pander to, quote, blue-haired employees. And we're not talking about the little blue-haired old ladies that would come in there and spend a lot of money at Cracker Barrel. We're talking about the 23-year-old Gen Z wackos with the spray-painted hair, like the fatty with the nose ring sitting in the car that we had earlier talking about how she shouldn't have to work. Okay? That's who we're talking about.
This is what happened with Disney, too. This is what happened slowly. The dress codes, beards,
Yes, exactly. Do we see a pattern here, Tugs? It began with small changes, dress codes done away with. Then alcohol was introduced, which I didn't even know they served alcohol at Cracker Barrel.
They didn't. They just got mimosa.
Yeah, they just started, right?
They just started within like the last year, maybe, with mimosas. I don't know if they have anything else. They might have beer, but I know they have mimosas for sure.
Probably. So usually that would make sense because you usually have to get one alcohol license for beer and wine. If you serve hard liquor, that's another level of alcohol license.
Yeah, I think it's just, they might. I think they have beer, but I know for sure they have mimosas because they advertise.
If they have mimosas, I'm gonna take just a stab at who they were trying to get into the Cracker Barrel.
Go for it.
Is the
French
wine
girlies?
Yeah,
the wine moms.
The wine moms. They want the wine moms because I was looking at the remodel. The redesign, and I was like, God, it's so gray and it's gross. But like the things that they had on there are the things that you would find in like a wine mom's kitchen, and a millennial wine mom's kitchen who carries around her Stanley Cup, goes to the gym. That is who they wanted in the Cracker Barrel. That's who they wanted.
The TikTok influencer wine mob.
Yeah,
that does like the restock videos that has no clutter in her house, like that. Yeah, that
and I bet you they were planning on collaborating with some TikTok influencers going to the new Cracker Barrel set.
Oh, no joke. I mean, I was trying to find the picture I had of the CEO, so I was like, you could see, but I mean, she's got those thick black rim glasses. I mean, look, if you asked Grok, draw me a picture of a stereotypical, 40-year-old white liberal woman, it would draw her. I'd probably actually draw her. I'm not kidding you. She doesn't have the spray painted blue hair, but like everything about her, so it was kind of like, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be very prejudiced on this one and say, I think I know what I'm looking at. The alcohol was introduced, breaking with decades of staying dry to preserve a family-first atmosphere set up by the original Christian owners. Service and management standards slowly degraded as corporate pushed for expansion into new markets. The food quality changed along with the drive for new modern customers. The logo and store redesign. This is a quote from this gentleman, not from Benny Johnson. The logo and store redesign is simply the last step in a total brand destruction by corporate vandals who seem to despise the Cracker Barrel core culture, says Eric. The logo symbolized a bygone era of front porch values in simpler times. The very spirit that inspired the once told story, the very spirit that inspired, I lost my spot, I had to scroll. The very Cracker Barrel sent the teams, here we go. The antiques on the walls once told stories too, sent the teams across the country to auctions and estate sales to bring back authentic Americana, curating each store like a living museum. Today, that process is gone, replaced with mass-produced decor that lacks meaning. Surprise. Surprise. What could not be destroyed, this is where it gets fun, what could not be destroyed from the outside was dismantled from within. Longtime employees left. This sounds a lot like Disney too. Longtime employee, all the top employees, and it's not just Disney, it's a lot of these companies, there's a lot of corporate America. The longtime employees left, the people who made it what it is, the people who could have helped the new people coming and learn the corporate culture, the people who were cared, like Disney Imagineers, the people who ran Pixar, the people who made Disney what it was. Same things going on here at Cracker Barrel. He says, regulars stopped coming, meaning the customers, and standards fell. I felt like I was part of something truly American, full of nostalgia and tradition. Now all of that's being torn down and replaced with just another bland, soulless corporate train. His next words, says Benny Johnson, are what struck me. Eric said, quote, Cracker Barrel built up decades of goodwill across the country. We often referred to ourselves as America's front porch. After the iconic long storefront filled with rocking chairs and checkerboards where guests would be seated, each store I worked in felt slightly different, a reflection of their communities. According to Eric, the Cracker Barrel he loved, the one so many families cherished, is gone. Eric lived the golden years. He met his wife there, many coworkers and couples too, bound together by shared values. Regulars came daily, often sat at the same table until the day they passed away. Cracker Barrel was more than a restaurant to them. It was a home. It was a place where they felt they still belonged, even as the world changed around them, he said.
Yep.
And they were surprised when they tried to strip all that from, the 80-20 rule out there, right, guys? Talking to the audience, right? 80% of your business comes from 20% of your customers. The ones who are like core,
come back.
The ones who come back again and again and again. 80-20 rule across the lines of business is usually pretty true. And look, here's the deal. It's when you dump that, you wind up what you had now. But now it's all, I'm sorry, it's coming back.
Hold on, I have a question real quick, Valiant. Were they, you might know this, was Cracker Barrel like doing bad as a company, like when they started making all these changes, or?
They had issues like any company. I mean, they were shut down for a year and a half because of COVID, trying to come out of it. I'll put it this way. The troubles that they were getting themselves into was nothing like after they started this rebranding. Whatever they had going on, that exacerbated it very quickly.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because the rule of thumb with business, which is to life, if it's not fixed, don't try to break it. And it kind of feels like, that's why I was asking, was something really broke that I didn't know as a company? Because why would you mess with this?
The thing is too, is I think somebody did some research, and I don't know where the tweet is now, so I'm pulling out of memory. And they said that their stocks were dropping like just little over the years. But here's what's crazy is over the last year, as somebody who is on TikTok and sees that kind of stuff, because I like shopping hauls, TikTok was bringing Cracker Barrel back because Cracker Barrel has their general store, and their general store, if anybody's never been inside one, has some pretty eclectic stuff, including like salt and pepper shakers that you can't really find anywhere else. Like there's one that's like a cute KitchenAid mixer, and like the bowl is the salt and the mixer is the like cute little trinkets, right? And so they were really taking off probably the last year, maybe tops, on TikTok social media wise, because of their little general store. And so they were coming back up. That's the crazy part, is just organically some girly walked in there one day that had a big TikTok account, was like, oh my god, look at all this cute stuff, and they decided to, I don't know,
go all in on the TikTok aesthetic and the And the that type
instead of
girly
letting it
aesthetic.
happen organically, where people that come into the store and smell the food and go, "Oh, that smells good. Let's have lunch or whatever. Oh, we could get mimosas. Heck yeah! Who doesn't love a good brunch?" Like that kind of thing. And then have it happen organically. They were like, "Oh, we're going to capitalize on this insanity," and it just blew up in their faces.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is the 5-year trend, just to go back and show you here, Cracker Barrel. We look back here, we're peaked out April 5th, 2021. It's been, I mean, business has been slowing down. They needed to do something. The outlook, they were trying to figure out, you know, what do we need to change? And again, this is one of the classic miscalculations of, you know, to hit the hard reset button. You know, it's like it's doing the last resort option of unplugging the cord from the back of the computer when you don't know if the game at the final boss is saved, you know, and it's like, wait, no, let's try some other things first. And they kind of went with, let's completely redesign all of the iconography of this restaurant. Let's completely redo everything from the ground up, which was the mistake. And what people are looking at here in the last, 6 months here, I mean, it had started to come back. Now, all of this up to this point was prior to the rebrand, right? And we go back to April where it was, let me go year to date, just to be fair. So this point here at 64 in February to about this point here in July, it's actually pretty even. The entire market took a dump in April. And we all remember this because it was all early on in the Trump administration. They were talking about the tariffs coming in. The whole market dropped 30%. It happened so quickly that most people have forgotten about it. At least if you were one of my clients, you rode through it. Now you have more money than you had to begin with. But the point is that the whole market took a crap here. So this big old dip down here in April is nothing that's specifically related to Cracker Barrel. This was part of the broad market crap that was in the beginning of the year. Came right back, and here's where we are. Right up here at about 723. And then we get into August here, and then we started getting this rebranding. We saw this really sharp drop, $8.14 at $62, and then $8.25, it's at $53. Now, dollar-wise, that's not a huge drop. Percentage-wise, that's a lot, okay? Everything since then, you see $8.26, $8.27, all of this was this pitch right here. All of this spike right here, okay? This is... okay, we're not going to do the rebranding. Whoop! It went right back up.
Yeah.
Everybody was
I will say too, she took over in November of 2023, and the remodels, the first remodeled stores were in early 2024. So as that started to get more and more locations, and people are like, "What the heck?" You can watch it.
Yeah,
like,
and look
by
at this.
By May of
January
this
15th.
year, they had almost 50 locations done. So news is now starting to spread too. So it's wild when you watch it. People are like, "What the heck is going on here?"
Yeah, you can look right here. Look right here, Tugs. January 29th, January 1st, it was about $80 a share, and then all the way through 24 as the rebranding came. Look at this.
As they started remodeling,
down to 37.
They started taking out the new. Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy to watch.
It really was one of those stories of you screwed up. Instead of playing into the audience you have and bolstering it, right? Building on that, you decided, screw them. You know, you're not going to get, and like I said, like you're not going to suddenly get the wine moms or whatever to show up. It's just not. They're going to go somewhere else. Like there's a restaurant that opened up around here. And it's just like that. It's the 37th Mexican restaurant that's within 5 minutes of where I am. Okay, I'm so tired of it. Well, yeah, but this one it's different than all the. You go in there, and we went in there right when they opened. So let's go check it out. I walked in there. I was like, never coming back in here again. Tile floors, hard ceilings, lots of schwanky stuff, and I'm talking like bass pounding nightclub music at 11:30 in the morning for lunch.
No.
And I'm like, oh no. This, and I looked around us, and I'm like, everyone at every table there was clearly a bunch of housewives. They were all having cocktails and everything. This was like a Thursday afternoon. I'm like, yep, no. They'll show up to a place like this. Okay, they ain't going to Cracker Barrel. I don't care how many mimosas you put in there. You're not getting to go. They're going to go to the little boutique schwanky restaurant. The wine moms that want to go out and do that on a Sunday morning, no matter what you do, you're not getting them to show up at Cracker Barrel. I don't care. That's not your, and that's okay. That's not your audience.
Mm-hmm.
Your audience is the families that want to go out after church, after mass.
Yep.
If you're Catholic, we say mass. So I mean, it's like you want to go there after mass. You know, right? That's the family where that's what you're there for. That Sunday brunch or that quick meal on a business trip, you might, or a business meal, you might go to a business lunch or something, go grab Cracker Barrel or a breakfast or something like that, a business breakfast. We've been there for that. You got to know what your audience is. So make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.